Hello, Mr. Chair, and hello, members. My name is Joe Saunders. I'm a former state representative from the Orlando area, currently a senior director with Equality Florida. I had some prepared statements, but if it's okay, I'll just share a few responses to some of the questions that I heard and some of the comments from Representative Grant. And first, I really want to thank you, Representative Grant, for taking time to meet with us. I want to thank so many of you who have taken time to meet with us and hear about our concerns. We do believe that the amendment that we're speaking to today is a response to many of our concerns, and I do believe sincerely, we do believe that it is not Representative Grant's intention to touch or affect local policies that affect the LGBTQ community. But let me just very quickly address two points, because there is a question around conversion therapy bans in the state, of which there are 18 cities and 2 counties that have addressed this practice locally, and also the question of human rights ordinances and protections. Around conversion therapy bans, the way that these policies work is to actually connect through local ordinance to licensure that the state provides. So mental health providers who are licensed with the state, and it is exclusive to that. Those ordinances don't touch religious providers who may in their own church or faith tradition have a version of conversion therapy that focuses on a religious lens. These laws simply say that if you are a licensed mental health provider with the state of Florida, and your ethical guidelines from the American Psychiatric Association, American Pediatric Association, American Psychological Association all denounce this practice that is equated to child abuse by those institutions, that the state and the licensure of mental health providers by the state is enough of a validator to say, in that space, in our community, this practice should not be allowed. And so we do share the concerns that have been raised that those bans will be perceived by the language currently as written as a regulation of those ordinances. Around non-discrimination ordinances, I just want to make clear that there is currently at the state level and federal level no statute that bans discrimination against the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community. When I was a lead sponsor, or when I was in the House, I was a lead sponsor of a non-discrimination bill that would have done that. Representative Jennifer Webb is the sponsor of that bill. This year, it's a highly co-sponsored bill, the most co-sponsored bill in the legislature, but that bill is not passed yet. And so 60% of the state, over 45 cities and counties, have created these local protections. Our concern is that the breadth of the language and definitions of occupation and profession and regulation, and an unintended consequence of the breadth of those languages stretching into employment protections and housing. I can give examples if that's helpful of how that may apply, but I don't want to take up time in the committee if folks don't need that guidance. We do very much appreciate you, Representative Grant, and what you shared today and what you've shared with us offline, and we hope that we can come to a version of this language that does not affect the protections currently afforded to 13 million Floridians. And happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Representative, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So is it your understanding that as the bill presented, as it pertains to discrimination, there's no protections under the Constitution and the laws of the state of Florida?
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Couldn't have forgot that.
I'm rusty. I'm sorry. What is fact is that currently in the state of Florida, the Florida Civil Rights Act and Florida Fair Housing Act does not include protections based on sexual orientation or gender identity, and there are no protections at the federal level or articulated statutes at the federal level that provide that as well. So local counties like Pinellas County, Orange County, where I represented from, frankly, most of you live in a place where a city or county has created at the local level those protections. And until the state creates that, our concern is that the language of this amendment as written could stretch the preemption into some of those protections.
You good, Rep? Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.